The centre has formalised for the very first time a detailed protocol for Vande Matram, elevating the national song to a clearly defined ceremonial status at official government events. In a 10-page order issued by the Union Home Ministry, the government has now mandated the full six stanzas version of Vande Matram to be played and, in specific cases, sung at key state functions. If performed alongside the National Anthem, Vande Matram will now be preceding Jana Gana Mana. And here's what changes. Earlier, only the first two stanzas of the Vande Matram were officially recognized. There was no fixed duration prescribed for the rendition. There were no rules requiring it to be played before the National Anthem. Standing during its performance was not formally mandatory, and it was largely sung voluntarily at select government and cultural events. Now, under the new order, all full six stanzas have been mandated. Its duration has been fixed to 3 minutes and 10 seconds. It must be played before the National Anthem at official occasions. Standing at attention during its performance is now compulsory, and it is now mandatory at designated government events. This is a structural shift in ceremonial protocol. The official version will now be used at designated state occasions, formalizing its presentation, timing and decorum. The government says Vande Matram must be played before the National Anthem at official events. The six-stanza version runs for about 3 minutes and 10 seconds. The audience must stand at attention. However, exemptions also apply. If the song is a part of the film or documentary or a newsreel screening, standing will not be required to avoid any disruption. A ceremonial drum roll will precede the song. A 7-step marching drill will signal its commencement. The national song will now be compulsory at civil honorary ceremonies, official state functions, events organized by the government, functions which are graced by the President of India before and after President's address as well. Arrival and departure of governors and presidents, and on occasions where the national flag is hoisted. With this order, Vande Matram now has a defined ceremonial identity, placing it within a structured state protocol and a framework which has seen the formalization of Vande Matram as the national song for the very first time in history. Joining me on the show is Professor Bhadri Narayan Trivedi, Vice Chancellor TIS, Arun Anand, author and senior journalist. Also with us is Shantanu Gupta, author and political analyst. I want to come to you first, Professor. Given that Vande Matram has both a historical and a constitutional position as we speak as a national song today, it will now be preceding National Anthem. Your first comments, sir, what are you making of that change and of that structured presentation, the fact that the government has now mandated it?
I think it is a good move. We should appreciate it because it will strengthen our national feeling, because Jana Gana Mana is the national anthem, and with Vande Matram, Vande Matram will strengthen our narrative of national sentiment and national emotion. Because this is a time when we need a kind of resurgence of our national feeling, to use it for the Viksit Bharat, because India, any nation can develop with the great commitment and emotive dedication, and songs plays very important role in that,
Okay.
and some international songs and national anthem, and this song, which is with the entire stanza, gives a very clear the meaning of the Indianness or Indian sentiment, which it covers all the aspects of Bharatiya nation, meaning of Bharatiya nation. So I think in that way it is a good move,
Okay.
and we should did it, and we should it will help in the making of future India nation, Viksit Bharat, and the nation India future. It's a Bharat Bhavishya. This is going to contribute in making Bharat Bhavishya.
All right. Arun Anand, do you agree with that, that it's an important move? It stems from the fact that we need national integration today. I cannot have this debate without asking of the historical objection to certain stanzas of Vande Matram, as a result of which only the first two stanzas were adopted. But now the government says all six stanzas must be sung every time the national song is sung. Do you believe it could deepen communal fault lines in this country, given that a large section of the people in this country have had a problem with Vande Matram, at least all the 6 stanzas of Vande Matram. They were okay with the first 2.
No, I think those who are objecting to it on the basis of that it involves idol worship, so Muslims have an objection to it. So that's basically the precise objection which comes.
That's right.
So yeah, so they should read Maulana Rizaul Karim, a towering intellectual of Bengal. In the pre-partition, he wrote a very beautiful book in 1944 called Bankim Chandra and the Muslims, and in that he has explained in detail that how actually, when we're talking about Durga, Saraswati, Kamla, Kali in Vande Mataram, so we are talking about the deification of the Mother India, or what you call Bharat Mata. One. Second thing is that the Constituent Assembly in 1950 had already adopted it as a national song. So there shouldn't be any objection to it. Third thing is that there is a lot of conversation around that now it is preceding, Janman Gun or the national anthem. So is it taking precedence over, or is there an attempt to, kind of give superiority to Vande Mataram? So, it has got a wonderful and very amazing and fascinating history. The first time Vande Mataram was sung, it was in 1896 Congress session by none other than Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore, who later composed, or who later wrote Vande Jan Gana Mana also, the national anthem. So there is no conflict, between the two. And having said that, the last point which I want to make is that, see, whether you agree with the Narendra Modi government or you don't agree with the Modi government, that's a different thing. But one has to look at it from a lens that Narendra Modi government has embarked on on a journey of restoring India's civilizational greatness. So you have to look at it from the civilizational lens, and that is why this step has been taken. That is my understanding.
All right, Shantanu Gupta, do you agree with that? Obviously there are two fractions in society today. One, of course, is as we were talking about, certain Muslims who have a problem with the deification of Mother India, which is integral to Vande Matram in at least the stanzas after the first 2. That's one. Number 2, of course, is that there is a popular belief that this is exactly what we agreed to, and this is India's history, this is India's culture. And many people among Muslim community itself have agreed to it, understand its historical significance, so there should be no problem.
I think you're right. The iconic song, so thanks and kudos and salute to the Narendra Modi government that the song, iconic song written by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee in 1870 is now part of the official protocol. And in Congress, in those eras, be it Garam Dal or Naram Dal, they all sang Vande Matram. Vande Matram was the war cry for Swatantra Senaji and is the war cry for a lot of Indian army regiments today. So all these Muslims that you're referring, who refrain saying Vande Mataram, they can't even join the army units because that's the official war cry of multiple. There are many army operations, special operations that start with Vande Mataram and with
no,
Vande
but
Mataram.
Shantanu Gupta, they don't
So
have a
the
problem with
part
Vande Matram. They have a problem with the fact that, after the first 2 stanzas, the third, the fourth and the fifth and the 6th stanza particularly refers to goddess Durga, various other deities of Hindus, and that is the problem. The first 2 stanzas were officially adopted and Muslims are okay to sing the first 2 as well.
There are many Muslims who come on your TV channel who have a problem saying Vande Mataram, and I'll again give the analogy of the army war cries. Bajrang Bali ki jai, Kali Mata ki jai, Durga Mata ki jai. These are the war cries of different regiments of Indian Army, which are active in Indian Army. So these Muslims who have a problem, they can't even join these army regiments. Who are these Indians who are living in India who have a problem in joining Indian Army, right? So fundamentally, it should have been part. I think now this hypocrisy is getting over, and finally, it's part of the official protocol. I'm so happy to hear this news.
Let me then come to the historical context, and Professor Badri Narayan, perhaps you can give us, some history lessons there as to how important Vande Matram was. And, we were looking at the origin of Vande Matram. We were looking at how historically the British were not okay with Vande Matram because in the 1940s and the 1930s, it became not just a war cry, but a song that united India. It became a song that brought all factions of India together, and it was debated in the parliament, after independence. And one of the contention was, of course, although some sections are not okay with it, but largely Vande Mataram has been a unifying song. So historically, a special significance has been put to Vande Mataram, where it was seen as a rebel cry by the British forces.
Yeah, indeed. Actually, both the panelists already analyzed the historical value of the Vande Mataram song, and you have actually narrated also the context, historical context. I would like to add one or two things on that. One is at that time when Vande Mataram appeared, India was in need of that kind of song because India was in need India needed that time integration against colonialism and also enthusiasm, a commitment, a dedication, and this song Vande Matram. If you read the text and analyze the meaning, it involves you, engages you, it motivates you to become committed for the nation. uh, the using of the certain line which people have objection. I think most of the Indians that time, our panelists rightly said that it was sung in a Congress convention, and many of people. I think from the people point of view, it was not divisive. Those lines were not divisive. They couldn't take meaning like that because by that time everyone was in that. Few people, few reactions maybe like that, but most of the people appreciated it. And it was a literary construction of a poet, and which become a national identity. And that time Britishers were so afraid with these songs because the song has more power than the bullet. The song has more power than the guns and the lathis.